us, we were able to, through investigative means, identify the driver of this vehicle, and we were able to determine yesterday that she and the vehicle were back in Manatee County at a location right off of 30th Avenue and 1st Street. The plan at that time was to try to get her into a parking lot area or a closed-in area so we could not only box her in and keep her from driving erratically once again and possibly hurting people, but we just thought that it would be an easier way just to keep her from re-entering the roadway. We did locate her at that location in the back of this property. The deputies were able to get in front of her and then also in back of her and try to box her in. That's when the detective who was in front of the suspect got out of her vehicle, and as soon as she was able to get the door open, the suspect accelerated and tried to ram through a very small spot, y'all, something that was never going to happen. She tried to get between the vehicle that my detective was in and a vehicle that was next to her, and the only reason why, and the only concern that she had was getting away. She didn't give a darn about my detective. She didn't care about hurting anyone. All she cared about was getting away. My detective was propelled a couple hundred feet. If you see that video, she's lucky to be alive. She's lucky that her injuries are not life-threatening. And for that reason, we are truly blessed. But I'm angry that my detectives and my deputies, day after day, this is the type of violence that law enforcement throughout this country face on a regular basis. It seems like everyone is just doing whatever they can to injure a law enforcement officer, to get out of being arrested, or whatever the case is. I really don't care. But we're charging her with attempted second-degree murder. She needs to be put in prison, and I will do everything in my power to make sure that those charges are not reduced. There's no plea bargain. She needs to do her time, because my deputy is very lucky to be alive, and I'm aggravated and I'm angry about it. I'll take any questions that you have.
You obviously spoke to the detective.
Yes.
Well, what did she have to say?
She said that it happened so quick she didn't even have time to neutralize the threat. She was justified to shoot at that suspect, and I wish that she would have been able to, but she didn't have time. As soon as she got out, she saw that she was trying to get away. She accelerated. She could hear the engine revving, and she just rammed her, and all she could do was just hold on.
Does she have any injuries?
She does have some injuries, and she's being evaluated, and she's going to be okay, but she's on her road to recovery.
Especially after what happened last week in Hillsborough County, just knowing that your deputy is alive to go back home to her family with another suspect that did these actions, I know you said you're angry, but what else can be done to prevent this?
For people to comply, to obey the law. I mean, this lady here, this suspect, call her a lady, call her whatever you want, has been driving in a stolen car for at least the last week. And she doesn't care about anyone but herself. Every time that we try to pull her over, she would drive erratically and do what she could to get out of here. My thoughts and prayers are with that family, with that Tampa deputy, because that's what I think about. That Hillsborough County deputy, was unable to react as well. My deputy was unable to react, and just, we're just thankful that she's still alive. But we continue to see this violence against law enforcement officers throughout this country, and I'm sick of it.
What were your thoughts and feelings when you saw the video?
It sickened me. It angered me, and I just was so thankful. I wasn't really sure how she was able to make it out of that with the limited amount of injuries that she has, because it could have been a lot worse. And I was just grateful that she was not seriously injured. Any more questions, y'all? Thank y'all.